Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda, and in this episode of Ignition Time, I give you the latest status of the stimulus negotiations. There was some outreach yesterday. Steven Mnuchin did arrange a call with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, and I'm sorry to report that nothing happened. The relief talks have actually stumbled again, and Congress is deserted as we speak right now. In fact, let's take a look at Erica Werner's Twitter feed. She's a Washington Post congressional reporter, and you can see the halls of Congress on your screen. Check out these pictures from Erica's Twitter feed. The halls of Congress are completely deserted. There's no one there right now. Absolutely nothing is happening. And in fact, like I said yesterday, there was some outreach. There was a discussion, but it didn't go anywhere. I'll quickly fill you in on that. Also, I'll talk to you towards the end of this video about how I think we as a community can start healing, because I do want to help and I do want all of us to get through this difficult time and then beyond this have a stronger financial future. Now, Erica also pointed out what she calls a striking lack of urgency from Larry Kudlow, the White House economic advisor, for further talks in a Fox Business interview yesterday. And we'll show you the transcript, part of the transcript from Erica's Twitter feed on your screen right now. So you'll see it on your screen right now. And take a look at these yellow portions. So Larry Kudlow, the White House senior economic advisor. Now, regardless of what you think about Larry Kudlow, he does represent the White House. So what he says is important. He was asked, does that, in your opinion, slow down the economic recovery at all if there's no more money other than the president's executive orders? And he said, well, I don't think so. And then he went on to talk about the importance of money to schools. So as you can see, there's really no urgency from Larry Kudlow, and this is somewhat disturbing, because it seems like the attitude from Larry Kudlow and the White House is, well, we did the executive orders. Big deal if nothing else is going to happen. We're just going to get through this. And that essentially is the tone that's coming out of the White House right now. Also, Larry Kudlow was asked, so we don't need a lot more money chucked at the economy? And he replied, I don't think so particularly. And then he went on to say other things during the Fox Business interview. And that I'm shaking my head, but that's where we stand right now. Now, also on your screen right now, you'll see a recent article from the Washington Post, which reads, relief talks stumble again as the president asserts a deal is not going to happen. There are no signs of movement. And basically, President Trump said the bill's not going to happen because they don't even want to talk about it, because we can't give them the kind of ridiculous things that they want that have nothing to do with the pandemic. That's what President Trump said at an evening news briefing yesterday, and I did actually cover that in my previous video, so you definitely want to check that out. Now, what's interesting is that the president's comments came after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin did speak for the first time since the talks fell apart last week. So they did speak, but unfortunately their conversation did not go well, and instead it led to another round of finger pointing. Both Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer issued a statement right after Pelosi's conversation with Mnuchin, accusing the administration of refusing to budge. This was actually followed by a statement from Mnuchin, who basically said that Nancy Pelosi mischaracterized their conversation, and he said that the Democrats have no interest in negotiating. That is not good. There was a glimmer of hope because they actually spoke yesterday, but based on these comments going back and forth, flying back and forth since that conversation, this is not a good sign. Also, President Trump talked about deferring the payroll taxes. He said that deferring the payroll taxes would be a great benefit for Americans, and he would make the cuts permanent if re-elected. He insisted that this would not damage Social Security, and he said that payroll taxes that normally go to contribute to Medicare and Social Security would come out of the general fund. That's what the president said. And now I want to go back to Secretary Mnuchin's comments after the conversation with Nancy Pelosi yesterday, because this is important. He said, and I quote, earlier today, Speaker Pelosi and I spoke by phone. Her statement is not an accurate reflection of our conversation. She made clear that she was unwilling to meet to continue negotiations unless we agreed in advance to her proposal, costing at least $2 trillion. He also added, the administration is willing to move forward with legislation that allows for substantial funds for schools, childcare, food, vaccines, hospitals, for small business, rental assistance, broadband, airports, state and local government assistance, and liability protection for universities, schools, and businesses. And he said that Democrats have no interest in negotiating. Now, keep in mind the Senate is likely to go on recess today for the remainder of the month. For the remainder of the month, and it looks increasingly possible like there'll be no new deal on any further stimulus until September, when an October 1st government shutdown deadline will force both the House and the Senate to take legislative action, and it looks like at that point in time there'll be further discussions of the second stimulus package. This is terrible, but this is the way things stand right now. When Nancy Pelosi was asked yesterday if it was possible that there would be no deal until that deadline, she said, and I quote, "I hope not, no, people will die." So that's where things stand, everybody. My goal is to help our community heal through this crisis, because all of this information is, for some of us at least, highly stressful. So I came up with an idea. I think that you guys should comment below and share your experiences. What I want is for you to comment below and let me know what is the biggest thing you've learned from this crisis. How is it causing you to change your behavior, whether it's searching for a new job or making changes to yourself financially, or perhaps learning new skills, whatever the case might be. This is forcing all of us to change. So what I want all of you to do is, in the comment section below, type out what this whole experience so far, this essential dependence on the government, if you will, what this whole experience has taught you. Go ahead and share your comments, because I think by sharing your comments, you'll give yourself a chance to get stuff off your chest, and you'll actually be helping other members of our community heal. Let's help other members of our community heal. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be watching the comment section very, very closely, and so is my team. In the next 2 to 4 days, we'll identify the 10 comments that get the most number of likes and the most number of engagement and the most number of interaction. Again, we'll identify 10 comments that get the most number of likes, the most number of engagement, the most number of interaction. My goal is that all of us should share our experiences honestly, authentically, and obviously you don't have to share personal information. You just share your experience, and in your story, others will find a way to heal. Others will find some kind of solace, because we need to be able to help each other. It does take a village for us to be able to get through this crisis. We should all be here for each other. I've seen what other channels have done, giving money, giving gifts and stuff like that. And I believe that does have some value. But at the end of the day, I don't want to give you the fish. I want to teach you how to fish. And the start of that journey begins by sharing your thoughts and by building a community and by helping others, because I think we need to be able to help each other. Some of you watching this channel are more fortunate than others. Some of you are in dire straits. Some of you are desperate. Some of you don't have money for food. Some of you are on the verge of eviction. And I know a couple of you are living in your car. So I know that. So let me repeat. Step 1, share your experience in the comments section below and let us know what you've learned through this crisis. In other words, how are you going to be able to adjust and improve in any way, shape or form? That's up to you in your own words. What have you learned and how are you going to improve or change your behavior going forward? That would be step 1. Step 2, me and my team are going to monitor the comment section for the next 2 to 4 business days. It really depends on how much time I get and how busy the team is. And we have the weekend coming up. So in the next 2 to 4 business days, my team is going to monitor the comments. We'll see which comments get the most engagement in terms of the most likes, the most number of comments, and also you should reply to the thread that you yourself create, so you can interact and you can start to essentially be a guide to other members of our community as well, because that's how we can get together as a community. Step 3, we will identify the 10 most valuable comments in terms of how they are helping other members of our community. This decision of the 10 in terms of the 10 most valuable comments will be made by me, and it may or may not be related to the number of likes and replies. I will be the one who decides, this person really shared, really helped. And then those 10 individuals who win, they are going to get a surprise from me. And I'm going to share that surprise in 2 to 4 business days. I'll give you a hint. It can either be a cash bonus, or it'll be the chance to be featured with me on this show for maybe 8 to 10 minutes, because that's my time limit. That's the time I have. And I'll be able to talk to the winner and guide the winner to get to the next level. So I'll give the winner the choice of accepting a cash payment of $100. So I'll give 10 people cash payments of $100 each, or the individual will have the choice to spend 10 minutes on the phone with me, get advice from me, and then get featured on my show. And obviously that person will have to agree to be on the show. Audio is fine, it doesn't have to be video or anything like that. That person can then, essentially be a source of inspiration to other individuals in our community. We'll get that scheduled in the next few weeks. My team will handle the logistics. I'm not involved in that. That is how I want to help our community heal. Let's start by sharing with each other. I want you to share exactly what you've learned through this crisis. That is step 1. Step 2, in 2 to 4 business days, we'll identify the 10 most valuable comments and we'll set up the prizes by initiating contact with those individuals. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've learned something new from this video. Please click the like button below. Please also subscribe and enable notifications so you get instant updates from me going forward. Also, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week, so make sure you're subscribed and you have notifications enabled so you don't miss any important alerts. Finally, if you want to get alerts from us, get your cell phone out, type out the word ignition or the word time, because the name of our channel is Ignition Time, and send that message to 70,000. The number where you have to send that message is 70,000, 70000, and then you'll get added to our list and you'll get text messages going forward if we release important breaking news and alerts, and I'll tell my team to send those text messages out as and when we get the time. You can opt out at any time. You can also get emails from us as long as you agree to a quick disclaimer, and you can opt out of that at any time as well. Thank you so much for watching again. Please comment below. Let us know what you've learned during this crisis. Let's start helping the community. Also, once you post, you'll find other members of our community responding if your story resonates with them, which I'm sure it will. Make sure that you participate and that you help and that you guide, and this is how we can come together as a community and create meaningful change as we try and heal from this situation. Giving, just handing out some money or that is not the long-term solution to this crisis. The long-term solution is, number 1, we need to heal. Number 2, we need to emerge stronger, and that is what I will help you do with Ignition Time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon at Ignition Time. Bye.